Hello everyone, thank you for visiting my channel. Today we are going to discover the structure and functions of the upper limbs. Are you ready? Let's start the video. The human upper limbs, commonly referred to as the arms, are intricate structures composed of bones, joints, muscles, nerves, blood vessels, and other tissues. Each upper limb consists of the humerus, upper arm bone, radius and ulna, forearm bones, carpals, wrist bones, metacarpals, palm bones, and phalanges, finger bones. They play crucial roles in a wide range of activities, including manipulation, grasping, lifting, pushing, and pulling. Let's explore in detail the formation and functions of the human upper limbs, how the upper limbs formed. During early embryonic development, the upper limbs begin to form as limb buds, which appear as outgrowths from the sides of the embryo. These limb buds undergo a process of differentiation and growth, eventually developing into the bones, muscles, and other structures of the upper limbs. The bones of the upper limbs ossify, harden, through a process called endochondral ossification. Cartilage models of the bones form first, which then gradually ossify into bone tissue. Ossification begins during fetal development and continues into childhood and adolescence. How the muscle and tendon develop? Muscles and tendons in the upper limbs develop from specialized groups of cells called myoblasts. These myoblasts proliferate and differentiate into muscle fibers and connective tissues, forming the muscles and tendons that control movement and provide stability to the upper limbs. What are the bones of the upper limbs? The humerus is the long bone of the upper arm, connecting the shoulder girdle to the forearm bones. It provides attachment points for muscles and ligaments involved in shoulder and elbow movements. The radius and ulna are the two bones of the forearm. The radius is bigger and located on the thumb side of the forearm, while the ulna is smaller on the little finger side. These bones articulate with each other and with the humerus, forming the elbow joint and allowing forearm rotation. Carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges bones, what are they? The carpals are the wrist bones, the metacarpals are the bones of the palm, and the phalanges are the bones of the fingers. These bones provide structure and support for the hand and fingers, enabling various movements such as grasping, manipulating objects, and fine motor tasks. How about the joints of the upper limbs? What do we need to know? Shoulder joint, glenohumeral joint. The shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint formed by the articulation of the head of the humerus with the glenoid cavity of the scapula. It allows for a wide range of movements, including flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and rotation of the arm. Elbow joint. The elbow joint is a hinge joint formed by the articulation of the humerus with the radius and ulna. It primarily allows for flexion and extension of the forearm. Wrist joint. The wrist joint is a complex joint formed by the articulation of the radius and ulna with the carpal bones. It allows for flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, and circumduction of the hand. Interphalangeal joints. These are hinge joints located between the phalanges of the fingers and toes. They allow for flexion and extension of the digits. Let's move to the muscles of the upper limbs. What are they? The shoulder muscles. Muscles such as the deltoid, rotator cuff muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, subscapularis, these are very important muscles to remember, and pectoralis major contribute to movements of the shoulder joint. The arm muscles, muscles such as the biceps, brachii, and triceps. Brachii are responsible for flexion and extension of the elbow joint. The forearm muscles, muscles such as the flexor and extensor muscles of the forearm, control movements of the wrist and fingers. The hand muscles, intrinsic hand muscles and extrinsic muscles originating from the forearm control. Fine motor movements and grip strength. Okay, now we are moving to the functions of the upper limbs. The upper limbs enable precise movements and fine motor control necessary for manipulation and grasping of objects of varying sizes, shapes, and textures. How about lifting and carrying? The upper limbs provide the strength and stability required for lifting, carrying, and transporting objects, whether light or heavy. Tool use and activities of daily living. The versatility of the upper limbs allows for a wide range of activities of daily living, including eating, grooming, dressing, writing, typing, and using tools and implements. Okay, everyone, here is another important function of upper limbs. It is communication and expression. The upper limbs play a role in nonverbal communication and expressive gestures, conveying emotions, intentions, and social cues. The upper limbs facilitate mobility and exploration of the environment, allowing individuals to reach, stretch, climb, and interact with objects and surfaces in their surroundings. How important the upper limbs in athletic performance and recreational activities. In sports, recreational activities, and hobbies, the upper limbs are essential for performance, coordination, and skill execution in activities such as throwing, catching, swimming, climbing, and playing musical instruments. In summary, the human upper limbs are remarkable structures with complex anatomy and diverse functions. Their formation and development during embryonic and fetal stages provide individuals with the ability to perform a wide range of activities essential for daily life, work, recreation, and social interaction.